Hola, buenas noches con todos. Espero logren escucharme y tener buena conexión para empezar con este webinar. Mi nombre es Valerie, soy asesora educativa de Science Planet. Es un gusto estar esta noche con todos ustedes. También con Ruth, que nos acompaña desde la Universidad de Sheffield.
Hello, everybody.
Y bueno, vamos a empezar. Como les comentaba, soy asesora educativa de Science Planet. Science Planet es una agencia que brinda asesoría totalmente libre de costo para todos los estudiantes internacionales que deseen tomar programas tanto como pregrado, posgrado, maestrías, doctorados, inclusive cursos de inglés en el extranjero, principalmente en el Reino Unido, el resto de Europa, Estados Unidos, Canadá y Australia. Brindamos consultorías desde el primer momento en que el estudiante decide llevar un programa de estudios en el exterior hasta el momento en el que es aceptado en la universidad y podemos proceder con el trámite de las visas, en donde se encargan directamente la oficina de Londres, que es la principal de Science Planet. La directora de la agencia es quien se encarga de tramitar la visa porque es especializada en migraciones. De por sí, todo el staff de Science Planet se encuentra totalmente capacitado y es un gusto para todos nosotros poder empezar este webinar y estar a la par con todos los estudiantes para poder apoyarlos y asesorarlos en todo el proceso que requiera. Creo que podemos empezar. Ruth, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. So I'll just wait to be made an organizer, then I can share my screen. Okay. Okay, so hello, everybody. So my name is Ruth Launer, and I am from the University of Sheffield, which is based in the UK. So here's a picture of me so you know who is speaking. So I look after students from Latin America who are wanting to come and study in the UK and at Sheffield specifically. So please feel free to note down my email. It'll be on the end of the slide as well. And hopefully you'll find this session useful. So we're going to look at a few things today. So why you choose the University of Sheffield, a bit about campus life, Sheffield as a city, what support we have for international students and study opportunities available. There will also be a chance for questions at the end as well. So if you want to type any questions, I'll be able to answer them verbally at the end. Okay, so why would students choose the University of Sheffield? Well, the thing that most people are looking for is a really good university. If you're making that investment to go overseas, you want to know that you're choosing a really good institution. And at the University of Sheffield, we can offer you that. We've got very long history dating back to 1828, and we started off with 114 students. We've now grown to over 28,000 students from 150 countries. So it's a very international university, and we're very proud to be very highly ranked. So if you look at the QS rankings, we are actually 75th in the world and 13th in the UK. We're what's known as a Russell Group University, and that means we are known for the quality of the research that we do. So we are a research-led university, and actually if you look at some of the most recent research results, we are actually very highly ranked for that as well. So in the top 10% of UK universities for our research, and actually pretty much all of our research is recognised globally. So that's something that you can be very proud of, and you can know that the people that are teaching you and designing your courses really are world leaders in their field. We're also very proud to have had 6 Nobel Prize winners amongst our former students or staff. So there's some pretty famous discoveries up there. So Baron Florey, for example, famous for discovering penicillin, very important medical breakthrough, and actually quite a few different breakthroughs there in the medicine and chemistry fields. In terms of what we specialise in at Sheffield, we have 5 different faculties. So these are some of our most popular subjects, but I will show you a video at the end of the presentation which will give you an idea for some of the research challenges that we're really trying to combat as a university. So when you're thinking about where to study, you first of all want to know that it's going to be a great university, but you also want to know a little bit more about where you might be studying, because that's really important as well. So just to give you a little bit of information about Sheffield and our campus life, we actually have a very highly ranked student experience. So academically, we're very good, but we also tick the student experience box. So we're consistently rated very highly for that in the UK. Now, when you start to investigate universities in the UK, you will hear the term a students' union very often. And this is something that is very particular to universities in the UK. Every university will have one, and it's like the social heart of the campus. So it's a building, but it's a lot more than a building. It's where you'll meet friends between classes. It's where the support services are based, so international student support, for example. It's where your societies, the extracurricular activities are based as well. And we're very proud that at Sheffield, we have had the best students' union in the UK for 10 years running. So we're very, very proud of that. Another factor that students often want to know about when they're coming to the UK is accommodation. It's a big worry for a lot of students coming overseas. And we are very pleased at Sheffield to be able to offer you a guaranteed place in our university accommodation. And it's also very highly ranked. This just gives you an idea of the type of standard you can expect. So you can see it's very nice, very modern. It's always a private room and a private or shared bathroom, depending on your budget. We actually, just to show you how the campus fits in with the city centre, you'll see here that the main campus is right next to the city centre. So it's very close to everything, very nice place to be. And our accommodation is either right next to campus or it's about 20 minutes walk away in the leafy green part of the city. So you can choose the option that suits you. Now, another important thing is the city where you're going to be studying. So some of you may have heard of Sheffield before today. For some of you, it might be new. So it's always nice to find out a little bit more about the city that you're thinking about studying. So first of all, where is Sheffield? Well, we're based here in the north of England. So it's about 2 hours away from Manchester, 2 hours north of London by train, and about 1 hour away or 45 minutes away on train from Manchester. So that's the closest airport that we'd recommend flying into. And it's a great city to live in. It's a sort of medium-sized city. If you see here from our shot of the cityscape, our skyline is very different to somewhere like London. But we are a large city for the UK. So what's great about it is that it's big enough to have everything that you would need, but it's small enough to be nice and manageable. So you'll see that tall building on the right-hand side of the screen. That is basically where the train station is. The tall building on the left side of the screen, that is the university campus. And to walk from one to the other takes about 20 minutes. So it's a really nice, manageable city with, as you can see here, it's very hilly, very green. So it's a very beautiful place to be. There are other benefits as well. So in terms of living costs, it's about 25% cheaper than London. You'll tend to find that typically the north of England is cheaper than the south of England. We're also a very safe city. So that's, puts people's mind at rest when they're thinking about where they want to come as well. And it's a very student-focused city. So there is Sheffield University and there is another university called Sheffield Hallam University, both in the city. and between them we have around 60,000 students, and that represents around 10% of the whole city's population. So they really are student cities, which is great, obviously, when you are a student. It's also just a fantastic place to live in general. So one of my favourite things is that if you drive about 10 to 15 minutes outside of the campus, you will reach the Peak District National Park, which is an area of natural beauty. So if people like hiking, mountain biking, or climbing, then there's loads of opportunities for you there to get involved in that type of thing in Sheffield. We've also got a lot of sporting history in the city. So we've got a couple of, famous-ish football teams. They're not quite so famous as some of the other UK football teams, but we have Sheffield Wednesday and Sheffield United. But not many people know that we actually have the world's oldest football club, which is Sheffield FC. So the first rules that were ever recorded in the world of football happened in Sheffield. So a nice sporting history there as well. We're also known for having a good music scene in Sheffield. This photo shows you a music festival that happens every year in the city. And some of you may have heard of the band Arctic Monkeys. They're from Sheffield. So we've got quite a few famous bands that are from our part of the world as well. One of the nice things about Sheffield as well is that there's lots of independent coffee shops, international cuisine. So there's loads of nice places for you to go out and socialise and meet with your friends outside of the university campus as well as inside the campus. And we have lots of sporting events that tend to come to the city. One of those is the World Snooker Championships. So there's always something going on. And as I said earlier, we're a very green city. You can see here our cathedral on the top left. Bottom left is our botanical gardens. Bottom right is Weston Park, which is right next to campus. I mean, the botanical gardens is about 5 minutes away, but Weston Park is like 30 seconds walk away. And then top right, you will see Chatsworth Country House, which is about 30 minutes drive from campus. So that's quite a famous historical building. It was featured in the film for Pride and Prejudice. So our international students are really important to us at Sheffield, so much so that we actually founded the hashtag We Are International to show the importance of our international students. And this has actually now been adopted across the UK by many, many different universities. So we make sure to support you every step of the way. We have a dedicated international student support team. They can provide expert visa advice. Obviously Studies Planet can help you with that as well, but we do have people at the university who can provide some additional support if needed. And we'll even pick you up from the airport if you like, because we understand that moving to a new country can be very daunting. So we're happy to provide as much support as we can to make that as smooth a transition as possible. We also provide some financial support for our international students because we know that the commitment to go overseas is an expensive one. So we have some scholarships available for high achieving students. So for students coming for a bachelor's degree, we have 50 scholarships worth 50% of the fee. For students coming from a master's, we have 100 scholarships worth 25% of the tuition fee. Now they are open worldwide, so they are competitive, but we do have 100 of those available each year. If you are not successful in getting one of those, then we do have a 10% automatic discount for students from Latin America. So students from Colombia and Peru would both be able to benefit from that. It's also worth knowing that we do have some extra scholarships available for Latin American students from certain countries. So Colombia and Peru are very lucky that we have 7 Santander scholarships, which are worth £5,000. So you're also able to apply for some of those. Now, I know that we have people listening in Colombia and Peru tonight, so I'll just say a quick word about our links with Colfuturo in Colombia. If you do get funding from Colfuturo, we actually are able to give you a 20% discount on your fees, and we have two £7,000 scholarships just for Colfuturo students. If you are based in Colombia, there are a few other sources of funding to look at. Pasaporte a la Ciencia, EasyText, Chevening, and in Peru, Pronobec sometimes run a scholarship scheme. I haven't seen one recently, but that's something worth checking out as well. And Chevening is also available for master's study in Peru. If anyone is interested in a PhD, we do have our own PhD scholarship convocatoria, and this tends to happen every year in January. So if you are thinking about a PhD, January is the important deadline to apply for the following September start. And if you're in Colombia, it's worth also checking Colciencias, and if you're in Peru, it's also worth checking with Pronobec. Now, we know that the decision to come overseas can be really daunting. So we actually, sorry about that. We actually have a team of student ambassadors who are able to talk to you about what it's like to study in the UK. So we have Alessandra, who is from Colombia, and she's studying architecture. And we have Carlo, who is from Peru. So if you would like to speak to somebody from your country about what it's like to study in Sheffield or in the UK, then please email me after this webinar and I'll be able to ask them to give you a phone call. So now it's good to talk a little bit about some of the study opportunities that are available. So one of the things that it's important to know about the UK is the duration of studies, because it is quite different to many other countries. So for instance, a bachelor's degree in the UK will be 3 years long, typically speaking. A master's degree will be 1 year long, and a PhD will be 3 to 4 years long. So it's really good to know about that. Now, in terms of how to apply for courses, Studies Planet are able to help with this process free of charge, but generally speaking, we'll need to see copies of your academic documents with translations. We'll need to see a personal statement, which is a letter explaining why you want to study the programme, and we'll need some academic references. But in terms of the todo el trámite, please do get in touch with Studies Planet, and they will help you with this process free of charge. And there is no cost to apply for postgraduate courses, a very small cost to apply for undergraduate courses. So in terms of entry requirements for students, for entry to a bachelor's degree, if students have studied, for example, the IB or American system qualifications, so international qualifications, these are typically compatible with our own. If students have studied the Peruvian or the Colombian local curriculum, then students will typically require a foundation year before starting on a degree, and this is available on campus in Sheffield. For entry to a master's degree at Sheffield, from Colombia, we will typically look for 3.7 to 4 out of 5, depending on the university. And for Peru, we would typically look for 14 out of 20. We will also need to see an English qualification, so something like IELTS or TOEFL IBT are both acceptable. This is the minimum score that we'll require. Some departments may ask for a little bit more. For entry to a PhD, the scores we look for are similar, but obviously from your master's degree. And with the PhD, you would also need to work on your proposal. So that was the main bulk of the presentation. Now we will have a time for some questions, but I did want to show you a short, well, it's about a 4-minute video, which will show you some of the facilities that we have at Sheffield, and it will also talk a little bit about some of our research areas that we offer. So I'm just going to play this for you now, and then we'll have a time for some questions at the end. Okay, so I hope you found that video useful, just to see a little bit more about what Sheffield looks like, some of our priorities as a university, and some of the main areas of research and global challenges that we are trying to tackle as a university. So there is now time for any questions, and my email address is on there on the screen, ruth.launer@sheffield.ac.uk. And if anyone does have any questions, please feel free to ask them on the chat function, and I'll be able to answer them verbally. Or
yeah, Ruth, we have a question from a student who asked if University of Sheffield offers scholarships.
yes, we do have scholarships. So For undergraduate students, we have 50 scholarships worth 50% of the tuition fee. For master's students, we have 100 scholarships worth 25% of the tuition fee. For master's students as well, if you're not successful in getting a 25% scholarship, Latin American students are able to get a 10% automatic discount. We do have some more scholarships as well for master's students. From Colombia and Peru, we have seven scholarships of £5,000, which are our Santander scholarships. So there's quite a range of different partial scholarships that we do have available.
Okay, nice. Thank you. We have another have a career with some strange language.
Yes?
Hola con todos, mi nombre es Leslie y también soy una asesora de Studies Planet aquí en la oficina de Lima. Estoy leyendo la pregunta de Gabriela. Gabriela pregunta, have a career with some strange language. Gabriela, si fueras tan amable de explayar un poco más tu pregunta, porque no la estamos entendiendo para que Ruth la pueda responder. Ruth, we have another question for another student, and she's asking, students have the option to work. Should I answer this one?
Well, I can answer that one. So students come to the UK on a student visa, and this visa will allow you to work up to 20 hours a week during term time and up to 40 hours a week during vacation time. So yes, students are able to work during their studies, and it's relatively common for students to get part-time jobs whilst they are studying.
Perfect. Las siguientes dos preguntas, the next two questions are about the same thing, and now we have another question from Ivan. So, want to study masters in diesel, and I want to do a business with. Okay, so this student wished to travel with his girlfriend, and the girlfriend is interested in doing a master's in diesel, and he would like to do a business course. So he's asking if both of those master's programs are in the same location.
So we offer both of those programs. So we have a master's in applied linguistics with TESOL, and we have a business school which offers a range of different programs in business and management, and both of them are located on our Sheffield campus. The buildings are probably about a 5 or 10 minute walk apart, so yes, we do offer both of those in the same location.
Okay, perfect. So
Translation.
Perfect. Okay, guys, everybody's asking now. So then the student Gabriela, the one that she asked before, alguien que tenga que ver con idiomas o lenguas extranjeras, simple traducción.
Interpretation.
Okay, so she would like to know if at Sheffield University there is any course in translation or specific language.
So we have two courses that would be of interest. We have an MA in Translation Studies, and we have an MA in Screen Translation, which is specializing in subtitling. So we have two different master's programs, and we have a range of different languages available for those. So Arabic, Chinese, Polish, Italian, Czech, Dutch, French, German, Russian and Spanish, and Portuguese as well. So quite a few different language combinations.
Wow, that's impressive. Amazing. Violeta, respondiendo a tu pregunta, los cursos los puedes encontrar online en la página de Sheffield, o con mucho gusto nosotras te podemos brindar mayor información. So the students asking about which courses which master's degree are in the University of Sheffield. So, um, and then there is another question um, of Kevin. So Kevin is asking about the requirements for undergrad students.
Yeah.
The
So
require
the entry requirements.
the entry requirements exactly, yeah, for undergrad students.
So if a student has studied an international qualification, so something like the IB or American high school with advanced placement qualifications, then students can be considered for direct entry to a bachelor's program. But if a student has studied at local Colombian or Peruvian high school, then we would need a foundation year, and the requirements for that will typically be good scores in your high school degree, and the specific important thing is a specific English test that you'll need called IELTS for UKVI. So you would need good grades in your high school. I mean, if you want to know the exact program requirements for your program, please email me and I'll be happy to advise you. But essentially, it's good high school grades plus IELTS for UKVI if you've done Colombian or Peruvian high school.
Ok, Kevin, so es la respuesta de Ruth y sería bueno que te pongas en contacto con ella o con nosotros también. There is another question from a student, Miguel. He's asking about is there any scholarships for undergrad for the 3-year programs or master programs, and what are the requirements, the entry requirements?
Yeah.
So,
So we do have scholarships available for undergraduate programs. So we have 50 scholarships with 50% of the tuition fee.
perfect. Yeah, Miguel, si deseas discutir un poco más acerca de los requisitos para aplicar, con gusto te podemos ayudar en eso. Respondiendo a la respuesta de Jesús, la Universidad de Sheffield es una de las más ranqueadas universidades en el Reino Unido y tiene programas de maestría que también están muy alto en el ranking. Y es una universidad que trata de ayudar a los alumnos internacionales y por ello ofrece becas, pero son becas según el mérito. Entonces, si tú hasta este momento has tenido excelencia académica, no podrías postular a esas becas. Pero son solamente becas parciales y el resto es podrías financiarlo por tus propios medios o buscando una beca de tu país. Ok. ¿Cuáles son los requerimientos de pregrado after doing a master? Okay, so we have a question of Guillermo. Guillermo is my student, and he just got accepted, so I'm really happy.
Oh, great. That's great news.
Now, okay, so Guillermo is asking, after doing a master, what are the chances of continuing studying for a PhD, or to be able or the chance to get a job in the UK?
So it's fairly common for students who study a master's with us to want to stay on and do a PhD, and it is very common for that to happen, obviously provided that the student can find funding either in their own country, or we do have PhD scholarships available. So if a student knows when they're starting their masters that they want to stay on for a PhD, we recommend that they talk to their professors about that very early on. So they'll start the masters in September, and the deadline to apply for our PhD scholarships will be January. So that's one of those discussions to start having early on, because then if the professors get to know you in those first few months and they really, really like you, then that would stand you in a good position to hopefully get one of our scholarships. Now, they are very competitive, of course, but it's a good it sort of gives you a bit of an advantage if you're there already getting to know the professors. So yes, staying on for a PhD, a lot of students do that. In terms of getting a job in the UK after you graduate, that is something that does happen. Not every student that wants to will be able to, but there are students, you know, and I've known many students from Latin America who have stayed. It's slightly more complicated because there's no automatic stay back option for working after you studied. So you would need to get a sort of graduate job and then get a different type of visa to stay on in the UK. So it's slightly more complicated, but it has happened, and students who are really determined and who start looking for graduate jobs really early on have in the past been able to find those. But obviously it's not something that we're able to guarantee.
Okay, perfect. So Ivan here again, he has sent us his GPA, because what is 3.49, I believe is high. So this is like a most personal question. Like, he's 41 and he's a businessman, but he's graduated 14 years ago from the university. So will that be like something to consider in his application? Also, he has 7 in IELTS, and I mean, for what can I see here, he's ready to apply. But he's a bit concerned. Yeah, he's a bit concerned about the age.
But the age isn't a problem. We don't take, you know, we absolutely welcome applications from people of any age. So please, that is not a problem at all. But do you know which program he wants to apply for?
Yes, business and management.
So if this gentleman sounds like he has a lot of relevant experience, a lot of work experience, I would recommend that he looks into our MBA program, because the MBA is a program that is 1 year long, Masters in Business Administration, and it's designed for people like this gentleman who actually have a lot of experience after they've graduated. It's all about leadership, entrepreneurship, and consultancy. So I think the MBA program that we offer sounds like it could be a potentially interesting match for this candidate.
Perfect, I believe so as well. So Ivan will be really happy to hear the news. Okay, so we have another question from Hannah, and she's asking, when does the applications for the scholarships start?
Okay, so the application deadline for the scholarships is the end of April.
Okay, cool. And
so it will start once you've got an offer. Usually starts from about January time, or whichever people have got an offer, whichever's the latest. And yeah, the deadline to apply is usually the last Friday in April.
Perfect. So Hannah would like to know if there is an undergrad program in law. I believe it will be international law.
So we have two different programs. We have the LLB Law, which is a 3-year bachelor's degree in law. And we have the LLB European and International Law, which is a 4-year program because it includes an additional year abroad at one of our partner universities. We do also have, you know, combinations with languages. We have law with Spanish law with, you know, and that has the Spanish language in it. We have things like criminology and law as well. But yeah, the LLB Law and the LLB European and International Law tend to be the most popular ones.
Perfect. So Eugenio, he's asking, how can I start the application process? So how is through Studies Planet, and when should be now? So you agree, Ruth? Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, Study Planet are really, really great at getting help with the applications. They'll be able to help you with todo el trámite, and they'll be able to make it nice and stress-free for you.
Thank you. Yes, that's our motto. So then, Angela. Oh well, yeah, I answered Angela to you. When is now? So get your documents ready, and we are here to help you. Then Fabian is asking. I study in the Industrial University of Santander. Okay, civil engineering. The question is, could okay, so he wishes to do like um like an exchange program, if that is possible in Sheffield.
So we do have an exchange program where students can come to us on a fee-paying basis for either one semester, which means you can come either from September to January or from February to June, or you can come for a whole year, September to June. So we do have that as an option, yes.
Great, great. So there is another student of mine, Franco. Hi, Franco. So he says, "Hello, Ruth. I have a question about the Santander scholarship. I want to know if these are available for Peruvian students and which are the requirements for the scholarship." Yes, Ruth, exactly. Because last time we were checking with Franco and we read about all the other countries, but we couldn't find Peru among them. So actually, that's a good question.
Let me just double check, because I know I've put it in there, but I might have made a mistake. Let me just double check on the internet. Give me 1
Sure,
minute.
sure.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. It's not actually available to Peru.
Why?
Sorry, that was my mistake. It was so the Santander one is available to Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Mexico, and Uruguay.
I'm not happy. I'm not happy right now.
I'm really sorry. I tried to get through on the list, but it's not our decision, unfortunately. But Peruvian students are able to benefit from the 100 scholarships worth 25% of the fee.
Mhm.
And the automatic 10% discount if students aren't successful in getting the 25%. So I'm really sorry, that was my mistake from earlier. But yeah, Peruvian students aren't eligible for the Santander scholarships.
Okay, thank you, Ruth. So we have Gabriela Ramirez here. So she says, "Hello, Ruth. Could you please explain a bit more about the career of music in the University of Sheffield?"
Yeah, sure. So do you know if she wants information about undergraduate or postgraduate?
She doesn't say it here, but Gabriela, if you're listening, could you specify if it's undergrad or postgrad?
Because we do have a range of
Both.
different.
She just says both.
So at undergraduate level, we have one bachelor's degree in music, which is a 3-year long bachelor's degree. And one of the great things about that is that it is one of the most flexible music degrees that you will find. So you can study things like composition, ethnomusicology, music psychology, music technology. So you could choose sort of one of those specialisms, or you can combine them all. So it's a really nice flexible program with lots of different strands to it. And that follows through with our master's degree programs. We actually have a wide range of different master's programs. Let me show you, or mention some of them. So again, we have specialisms in composition, ethnomusicology, music management, sonic arts, psychology of music. So we really have the sort of technological side, the modern side, as well as the traditional side. And one of the things that's quite interesting is if you Google image Sheffield University Music Department, you will see two buildings. One is traditional and red brick. The other is black sort of rubber box that looks like a speaker. And those two buildings are our music department buildings. So I think it's quite interesting to see it sort of really reflects the wide range of content that we have within our music department.
Great. And we have another question of Gabriela Lopez. So she's asking about the information about the scholarships and the language program. Ruth, I have a question that just came to my mind. In the University of Sheffield, is there any possibility that the students could learn just English, go for IELTS or academic English language program at Sheffield? Is it possible?
Yes, we do have a program. We have an English language teaching centre. It's only suitable for students who are over 18, so it's not suitable for high school students, but we do welcome over 18s to the centre. And we have pre-sessional courses in the summer, which are sort of 4, 6, 10, 17 weeks, which run before the start of the programme in September. But we also have standalone programmes running throughout the year, which are very flexible in terms of length. So yes, we are able to offer English language courses as well.
Perfect. That's amazing. So we have another question from Laura. And Laura is asking, is it mandatory to have a master's degree to get admitted to a doctoral program?
It's very rare to get admitted without one. It has happened. I have seen it happen once or twice, but it is quite rare, and students would need to have a real lot of research experience. So it has happened, but it's very rare.
Fair enough. So, so Ivan wants to start tomorrow with application. That's the spirit, Ivan. Here for you. Okay. So we have another question of Maria Valentina. She's from Colombia, and she wants to apply to a scholarship for an undergrad program.
Okay.
And that's it. And thank you.
So the first step is getting her offer of a place.
Definitely.
So once she's got the offer of a place, we will then invite her to apply.
Great. So Maria Valentina, if you're listening, so get your documents ready and apply.
And it needs to happen quite soon, because the scholarship deadline for the 50% undergraduate scholarships and for the 25% postgraduate scholarships is the 26th of April.
Yeah, so it's just around the corner. So Laura is asking, do you have any neuropsychology master or doctoral program?
So we do have quite a range of different programs in psychology. In terms of masters, we have an MSc in cognitive and computational neuroscience, an MSc in cognitive neuroscience and human neuroimaging, an MSc in systems neuroscience. They're the sort of neurotype programs that we offer. And then we have some other programs in psychological research methods as well. So hopefully some of those might be of interest.
Great, yeah, of course. We have another question from Christian. So Christian is asking, is there any master in mechanical engineering? And about the tuition fees.
Yeah, we have lots of programs in mechanical engineering. So we have the MSc in advanced mechanical engineering, MSc in mechanical engineering and industrial management, an MSc in Advanced Manufacturing Technologies, an MSc in Aerodynamics and Aerostructures, and an MSc in Additive Manufacturing and Advanced Manufacturing Technologies. So we have 5 different programs within the Department of Mechanical Engineering, and the fees for those will typically be about £22,000 to £23,000. And if you'd like me to check the exact fee for you, if you just drop me an email and you can tell me the year that you want to start and the exact program, and I'll double check that for you. But we're looking at approximately £23,000.
Perfect. Okay, Christian, if you're listening. We have another question from Roosevelt. He's asking which are the requirements to the entry requirements for a master in law. Like he's asking if only the best students can apply, or what's the minimum GPA that he should have to enter the university for a master in law.
So from Colombia, the minimum GPA that we would look for would be 3.7. And from Peru, the minimum GPA we would consider would be 14 out of 20. And that, in the right background, in the right subject, would be considered for entry onto any of our law programs.
Perfect. Okay. So we have another question from Isabel. If I want to apply to a postgrad student, is it possible for me to choose any of the ones you offer regardless of my undergrad degree? I see. So she has an undergrad in law, but she wants to do a master in music. Is that possible? And she's from Peru. Hi, Isabel.
So for some master's programs, it's fine to go in with any background, but for some you will need a relevant background. So some of them, let me have a quick look for you. So we do have quite a range of different programs. Now, it does say for most of our courses you will need a degree in music or a combined with degree with a substantial music component. It does, however, say that degrees in other related subjects may be acceptable depending on your background. So we will need, you can't just come into a degree in music with no music background. You would either have to have some study in there or some really extensive experience, in the music industry or in a music related career. So each case is considered individually, but we would definitely need a substantial amount of music-based interest there.
Okay, great. So we have a couple of more questions, and that will be it for tonight. So Miguel is asking if there is any master in geology, in applied geology, or geotechnology.
We don't have geology or geotechnology. We do have a few programs in geography, like applied GIS, so geographical information systems, but we don't really have geology.
Okay, cool. So that will be for. And the last question is from okay, so Violet, so she's asking for the tuition fees, but then maybe I can answer this one. So Violeta, creo que tú estás en Perú. Los costos de la universidad van a depender del programa que escojas, si es pregrado o posgrado. Los programas que tienen más alto costo son los que Son carreras que tienen que utilizar laboratorios o salas de producción. Entonces eso lo podemos mirar más a detalle de acuerdo al programa que vayas a postular. And then María Valentina is
Just
asking.
to add, Leslie, our fees will typically start from around £17,000 for the cheaper courses, social science type courses, and then for the science and engineering courses, they'll go up to about £22,500. So that gives you an idea of the fee range that we have per year.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And then Maria Valentina is asking, what are the requirements to get the scholarship? So if she applies to the university, then to apply to a scholarship, does she needs to do a personal statement, an interview?
So once a student has an offer, we will invite them to apply for the scholarship, and we are looking at academic merit, so it's based on your previous achievements, but we also ask you a few questions, and it's things like, why do you want to study this program? What do you hope to achieve with this program? So it is kind of like a personal statement. We just break it down into a few questions. So there is an element of writing to the application as well.
Okay, perfect. So that will be all the questions for tonight, I believe. If you have anything else to add, Ruth?
I just wanted to say thank you for listening. I hope it's been helpful. Please, obviously, get in contact with Studies Planet to take your applications forward. But if you do have any more specific questions about the university or the scholarships or anything that I've talked about today, please do email me on ruth.launer@sheffield.ac.uk and I'll be happy to help.
Perfect.
Thank you very much, Ruth.
All right, thank you.
I'm Laura, Spice Planet, and thank you very much to everybody who is listening here. I wanted to ask you, if you want to start your process with us, you can send us an email. If you are from Peru, you can send us an email to international@studiesplanet.com, and if you are from Colombia, you could do it to Colombia2.studiesplanet.com. I will say in Spanish, so it's very clear. Para Perú, ustedes pueden enviarnos un correo a internationalstudiesplanet, arroba studiesplanet.com, y para Colombia, Colombia2 arroba studiesplanet.com, y con gusto los vamos a atender. Recuerden que nuestra asesoría es completamente gratuita y podemos ayudarles en todo el proceso, no solamente aplicas en la universidad, sino también, por ejemplo, para la visa, etcétera. Nosotros estamos ahí para apoyarlos en todo. Muchísimas gracias por asistir y esperamos sus correos pronto para empezar el proceso para aplicar a la Universidad de Sheffield.
Okay, thank you guys. Muchas gracias por estar aquí y muchas gracias a Ruth también.
Thank you, Ruth,
Thank
for
you.
your time, for your presentation. I
Thank you
think
very much. Sorry.
yeah, it was a pleasure. Gracias con todos los estudiantes que han estado presentes esta noche. Esperamos poder asistirlos en todo el proceso que necesiten. No duden en contactarnos. Todo el staff de Studies Planes va a estar encantado de poder ayudarlos.
Okay. Muchas gracias. Chao.
Bye, buenas noches.